Life in Letters.
The presenting sponsor of My Life in Letters is sprayplanet.com. This is where you go to get everything MTN colors, be it 94, hardcore, whatever it is, go check them out. They're also the distributor of Crink products, Posca markers, and Grog inks. So go check out sprayplanet.com right now, order something, and go make your mark. But without further ado, let's get into this next episode. My Life in Letters. Here we go. I'm sitting right now across the room from Dave Persue. And we are in his studio in Red Hook, Gowanus. What's the neighborhood, Dave? Where are we at?
Yep, Red Hook.
It is Red Hook.
Gowanus.
Okay. And
a block away. Yep.
We're doing the part 2, man, and I'm pumped, dude. Also, I thank you for stopping everything, taking the time, sit down, so we can do this part 2. People have been itching. We were just talking before the interview. It was November of 2016. We did part 1. You were episode 6.
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, it's just I'm blessed, to be able to sit here with you and chop
Thanks.
it up and hear your stories, dude. So thank you.
I'm blessed too.
Yes,
blessed to be here.
Fuck yeah, you are.
And alive to talk to you.
Yeah, and we left off in 2001, and at the end of that first interview, we were talking a lot about sort of the origins, the starting of Bunny Kitty, and that's just like this whole thing for you. And I wonder, I don't know, where do you think we should pick up in 2001?
2001, I guess I was writing those two, kind of like the two highways that I was talking about maybe in the first interview. And it was like working in the skate industry. I had already been in that for almost 10 years at that time. And then also style-wise, when it came to writing, I was starting to develop a new approach to letters for myself, one that kind of took me on the path to evolve into what I'm doing these days. Mm-hmm. So I was really just trying to do different type pieces, but the foundation of them having good letter structure.
What was that? You say new approach. How are you approaching it then?
I think prior to that, to go back to the past, I think that I was just really confused when it came to painting pieces. Some people might argue that, but
what confused you?
I just didn't know how letters interacted with each other. I just didn't get it. I didn't know how. I wasn't really taught the aesthetic of a straight letter piece or blocks or anything like that. I went straight from, I was painting a lot of characters, and then when it came to letters, I was mentored by Quasar, who was an abstract. Yeah. And then I was mentored by Joker, and then that was an abstract approach. And so it was really kind of out there. I was like, I could do anything I want. Yeah. Don't tell me what to do type shit.
You said that Wayne kind of started to give you that knowledge about a letter, individual letters.
Yeah, he was telling me, look at this artist, look at somebody who has a P, look at poem, like New York Poem. He does a lot of P's. Look at part, So he was making me reference these OGs.
Part 1, friend of the podcast.
Yeah,
just saying. Okay, that's dope.
So so I think what I was doing, I was traveling a lot throughout Europe, so I was picking out a lot of European kind of approaches to letters that was obviously influenced by New York, but there was just something very European about it as well at the time. Yeah. And maybe I was just doing that on the West Coast when people really were following a different type of trend when it came to letters. There was a lot of very bob wire pieces on the West Coast. I don't know.
Where were you in Europe?
Gothic, perhaps.
You probably called it Gothic. Yeah. The one that they called it Gothic.
Yeah,
they probably were way more hardcore
heavy metal.
Yeah.
That's my heavy metal piece. Rock and roll, man.
You said you were in Europe. Where were you? Is that your first trip to Europe?
I started traveling in '95 to Europe, but I think I was going back and forth and hanging out with Cantu and Toast.
Damn, who put you on to Cantu?
I met Cantu through Bobby at Tribal, and he was on tour with a friend on the West Coast, and Bobby connected us.
Dope. That must have been nuts, just crazy.
Yeah, he is a savage when it comes to graffiti pieces, or just painting, illustration. He did them really well, absolutely.
Yeah,
but his pieces were second to none.
True.
He really had a Bronx aesthetic, but just refined.
You still in touch?
I reach out. We reach out once in a while. We haven't really caught up like verbally or anything in a while.
But even with I'm saying with Can, that's how you got into Stick Up Kids. Did that happen like in the first run, 95?
Yeah, I think we talked about that in the first one.
interview?
So that was like 90. That was probably 98.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then, so you're going back to Europe in like 2002, 2001 era?
Yeah, I was still kind of going back there. I was working for a shoe company at the time, which made it easy for me to travel.
Okay.
I was starting to go to Korea a lot. There was really nothing in Korea. There was like maybe one writer or a few writers in Seoul. And then, I mean, it took some years until, you finally saw more like Art Time Joe and J Flow like started to do a lot of stuff in Can too, kind of exposing them.
Yeah.
They were really technically advanced. They came out pretty hard in Korea around that time and showed a lot of potential. I mean, they've gone a long they've gone a long way.
Yeah. Yeah.
But so Korea, and then I was doing some stuff out there, not a lot, some trackside stuff, but I went back there recently and all of it's gone. All my tags, everything is just redeveloped. It was 10 years later.
I'm sure.
So that's not,
and that was near Seoul. You were hanging out?
I was in Busan.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm sure the development's like crazy out there.
Yeah.
And so, but you were saying like that you were developing this new approach.
Right.
And you're seeing European work. And, but why did you go there the first time?
I was working for a skateboard shoe company.
Yeah.
So I would go out there to develop the footwear. And I mean, that was 2000, 2001. I started to kind of party a lot.
Party, Dave?
Yeah, I know how to party.
When you say it that way, it's like, oh, maybe this was like not a good thing that you were partying.
No, I don't know. It kind of led me down like a dark path, I think, or the starts of a dark path in my life. That lasted probably about 10 years or a little bit longer, it was a long time.
And like, can you talk about that? Was it like...
It was just like drinking with factory owners, a lot of whiskey, a lot of karaoke.
Sounds pretty dark.
Dark rooms.
Yeah. But like...
but it was fun. We thought it was fun.
Yeah. Okay.
And...
but for 10 years, I mean, you make it sound like maybe that was like even... I mean, did you have like an alcohol issue?
No, not an alcohol issue. I just, it just didn't seem right.
How much you were...
For me, yeah, my body was starting to reject it. And, I don't know I don't think I became an alcoholic at all. I mean, I don't drink really at all.
Yeah.
Now it just seemed like just one of those things. We were bored and we just wanted to party and have a good time. And it just was like, there was a lot of money because we were making a lot of money in the industry at that time. And so, I was just painting and working on skateboard stuff. It was just like things seemed too easy, and it proved later on that it
might have been.
It might have been.
I'm interested when you're saying like you're making a lot of money. Like, I think that I'm always curious about how people invest or don't invest. Were you making investments back then with that kind of dough, or was it all going to karaoke bar cash registers?
No. I was putting money away. I was putting money away into, like a mutual fund and a Roth IRA.
Who was like?
I bought a house.
Did you? Where?
I lost all that shit.
Oh, really?
I lost the house.
Where was it?
It was in San Diego.
That had to hurt.
It hurt big time, man.
Yeah,
like I had worked 25 years building brands and seen a lot of my peers do really well for themselves. And I just didn't know how to take care of myself on the front end when it came to setting myself up for business. Like what I want, my contract. I never signed contracts. I never made the deal good for me. And I'm the type of person that they would hire to launch a new brand. They would say, Dave, we want to start a shoe company. Yeah. Can you come up with a name? Can you come up with a logo? Can you come up with an aesthetic? Can you come up with product? And I would do this. And I started doing that at a young age. I started doing that at 19. And I just felt like, I was doing everyone a service. I saw how many people were eating and being taken care of. And I was being taken care of. At least I thought I was. And I just didn't have like somebody on my side being like, Dave, you need to protect yourself. You need a contract. and maybe I did, but that was much later, and it's almost too late at that point.
Yeah, and I think that's like I'm imagining that's a story that's told over and over by different artists of various levels of success. It's like we're not trained in how to run a startup or a business, which we are. We are our own startups, right? And we're not trained in how to like manage ourselves,
right?
Which is such a lost opportunity.
A lot of us have that problem.
Yeah,
I feel that because I come from a background of building brands and building so many of them, and then successful ones, and then seeing how it was done, and with the change of the industry and the social media and everything that's involved now, it's like we've turned into our own brands, and I saw that coming a long time ago. I think a lot of us did.
I wish I had identified it sooner. Me, to be honest, like I'm way behind the curve on it, which is what it is. But with you, man, like, so if you're talking about this new approach in the early 2000s, you're also talking about like this sort of dark time, alcohol and partying. How did you find balance like throughout the early 2000s with making work, being that brand maker, partying?
I didn't really care about like, I didn't have any worries because I was making a paycheck, you know? So like, it's like, almost like you feel like, oh, it's never going to end. But that's the most foolish thing that you could have in your mind. It's like, oh, this is never going to end.
Yeah, the
man.
bubble
like,
will never burst.
We're killing it.
Yeah.
So, I kind of lost track.
Had you had your daughter yet? Not yet.
No,
right?
that was 2007.
Okay. And so in 2000...
playing in a rock and roll band too, I think, with my brother.
Oh,
I was taking on way too much shit.
Interesting.
So I was playing in a rock and roll band. I was traveling to Korea and painting graffiti. But I wasn't probably painting that much graffiti, but I think my letter styles were getting a little bit better.
Were you drawing a lot? Like sketching letters?
Yeah, I was sketching. I think that's what helped me a lot. I was doing individual letter studies. And
you mentioned that in the first interview, that you would do these individual letter studies. What went into that? Like, can you talk about just what that was? How would you do a letter study? How do you approach it?
I would just draw a bunch of P's in different ways, or E's, and how they interacted with each other, and just try to make them communicate with one another. Without
connections, or would they have connections?
Both. But a lot of them around that time didn't have connections. They may have just been touching. Like the backs of the letters were touching the front of the letter beside it.
How did you know, like, when it was working? What would be like the sign that you're like, oh yeah, this P and this E, that's like working together. They're communicating well.
I think it was just a hunch.
Okay.
And probably talking to my peers and showing them my pieces as I painted them. They would be the first ones to kind of critique them for me. And they would break it down. Or
who would some of those people have been in that era, 2001?
It's mostly Wayne around that time.
And you met Wayne in New York, but then you were bouncing around. You were just all over the place, but you stayed in touch.
I was visiting, but I was probably traveling a lot through Asia and Europe still, and just kind of like just going with the flow.
Yeah. Well, and Wayne also. Friend of the podcast. I just gotta give him a shout. Like, what a great peer to have giving you feedback. Dude's like, he's just so good, and he's so smart, and I think like Wayne has like a sensitivity or something. I don't know what it is. Like the dude's just like really in touch, So that seems like a pretty lucky thing that you could do a letter study and show it to Wayne and get feedback. Would you paint those? Did you ever just paint a P?
No. That's a good idea, though.
I want to do that too. Just working on an A on a wall would be fresh.
Well, he would see my letter studies, and he would say, like Doc believes in like doing the one letter studies, and he would be, he would like to see that or something like that.
You had said that there's this darkness, and I mean, I think we should try to touch on it a little bit if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
I mean, you don't have to either, but what I guess I wonder is like how this time maybe could have either affected your work immediately, or have you seen like a ripple effect now 15 years later from that dark time? Or I guess you're saying it was a dark time.
I think that I had to go through that, like I think that kind of like motivates any type of creative person, is having those times in their lives. And I mean, they just don't get up and go away.
Yeah.
They're always kind of there. Like, I feel that I'm able to pull more stuff out of me because of the turmoil or, abusing myself somehow, like I'm able to get, this workout.
And that's interesting because I think a lot of people actually shut down when they get that much challenge and that much pushback.
Yeah.
I think it actually ends a lot of artists' careers because they can't deal with the setbacks.
Yeah. And looking at Bunny Kitty, you would think that it's the furthest from somebody who's gone through some dark shit.
Yeah.
I feel that I am somewhat of a introvert and that I force myself to be an extrovert in a way. If I'm around a social event, I'm talking to people or making plans or I'm networking, and I'm very good at that. And I think a lot of people that are introverts have a hard time doing that. I think you have to just force yourself to put yourself out there a little bit more and just create conversation amongst people. I think that there's just more opportunity to kind of grow that way.
And you think that you gained that ability to, like, I don't know, change and just kind of flip and become extroverted when you need to? Did that happen over time? Did someone show you the ropes on that? Was that practice?
No, I think that I like people, but at the same time, like I for a while in those year 2000s, I kept a distance from the graffiti community in a way, because I felt that like by bringing them into my home that it could create a dangerous environment, and I was trying to protect something.
What do you think? What was it?
I was probably trying to protect just people that I had around me and, my belongings and stuff like that. It was weird because like I was friends with certain people, and then these other people would just show up and they would kind of use you as a vehicle to get towards two other people or seen or noticed. Yep. And it was fake, and I just didn't want it. So
but you could read that too. You could feel it.
I could, yeah. And, I went through some shit where, I was with someone at the time, a woman, and like she was inviting these people over, and I was like, who the fuck are these people in my living room? Like, and why are you here? I know why you're here. I know what your motive is. But when I would talk about this to her and tell them or give them the vibe, like, you shouldn't be, around me or my house, like it was just a mess. Yeah. Part of the dark times, I guess. Yeah.
And like, but throughout that whole time, you continued to make your work. I mean, that was it.
Yeah.
Did you start to see a lull in like the shoe brand work in the early 2000s, or did you keep pushing? Did you keep riding that train as long as you could?
rode that until about 2010.
Okay, so you stayed with it through a lot of those dark years.
I did.
And that was your steady paycheck. That was like a comfort zone for you.
Yeah. And that probably kept me from moving out of San Diego when a lot of people, took
leaving.
Opportunities to kind of build their careers as artists, or I was just like, comfort zone. I'm good.
What do you think about that now in retrospect, those years of working for X brand of shoes? Like, do you think it was a good thing, or do you think that...
I think looking back, I mean, it couldn't have been any different now, obviously. Yeah. I mean, it kind of like pushed me to where I am at.
Yeah.
But if I were to look back, there was probably only one company I would have stuck with, long term. It would have been probably just a smarter thing, But instead
you were bouncing around to different companies?
Yeah, I was bouncing around because people were just like, oh, yeah, we need you.
Yeah, come in and just do this thing.
Yeah, can you do this? And I would get in there and I'd be like, what the fuck am I doing here? Why am I working for these people?
Conventional wisdom would say you would do that. Work with as many brands as you can. Build this portfolio, which sounds to me like when I say it, it's like, well, yeah, that's right. That's what I'm doing now. That's what a lot of people do. You work. But you're saying that maybe you should have stayed with one brand instead of multiple.
Right. I don't think a lot of people know about my skateboard history or my contributions and the early contributions of that and the evolution into the aesthetic of what streetwear became and into what's going on in the industry now. Because at a time, I mean, a lot of people were influenced by the Southern California skate culture, or even Northern California too, just California style.
Yep.
East Coast during, those times, mostly in the late 90s and starting into 2000, started to look a little bit different. They started to kind of change their aesthetic to more of a West Coast flavor.
Yeah.
I think when it came to design and clothing and stuff like that.
I mean, have you ever thought of ways that you could remind the world of your influence on that?
Oh, shoot.
I'm not saying you have to go back and be like, look at this shirt that I did for brand X.
I think that, I'll post it once in a while on my Instagram, but, only a fraction of people kind of see it. I think I'll put together a book one day, and that will just be a limited amount
That's a great idea.
as well. And I think I'll try to self publish that.
I mean, that's a very cool idea because, like, I know of your work with a bunch of different companies, but there's probably a lot I never saw. So it'd be really interesting to see that.
Yeah, I find that when I post things that are obscure, that there's always these collectors or people that had no idea, and they're commenting like, "Oh, so you're the one who influenced my career because of a T-shirt graphic or
See, that's dope.
a logo or something," because it wasn't industry standard to have so many graphic designers.
Yeah.
It wasn't readily available. These doors weren't open, but now it's like because of the tools and what's out there, it's like
Totally. And the
so many
demand,
designers.
you know?
And the demand,
So then how did your graffiti continue to evolve, like in those early 2000s, or did it evolve? I mean, you're talking about letters.
It evolved, but it just kind of like, I was painting. I've done a lot of pieces around that time, and some were good and some weren't. And I just kind of would do a piece and say, well, next time I'm going to try this. And I think it started to evolve when I really got, it probably was around 2005 or 6. It started to evolve more at a crazy rate.
How did you identify that? Was it hunch again, or was it just like...
I think it was the people I was around. That time I started to paint more with, MSK and Seventh Letter guys. And they were just, they had already been killing it. But like their style and their pieces were just evolving at a crazy rate and pretty amazing.
Yeah. And you had mentioned Revoke in the first interview. And like, I'm curious, just like, just painting alongside those guys, some takeaways that you might have had, like some thoughts about that.
Just the way they approach letters, like I think Revoke broke a lot of rules, when it came to his approach. You listen to Style Wars, and it was scene that says, oh, you just don't walk up to a wall and start filling in. Well, Revoke did.
Yeah.
He would go straight into fill in, and then you would look away for 10 minutes, and then he would be almost finished with this highly technical piece, and you're just blown away. It was just a crazy place where he was at. So that was very influential, and I think he had profound effects. I mean, he was influenced by Crush and the older A-dubs and stuff like that, first wave guys, and probably some LTS guys and stuff like that. But,
and were you in San Diego, driving up to LA to like paint with those guys?
Well, I was in San Diego, and he was coming down, and I think I was painting mostly with an artist by the name of Rescue, and I was going to TJ a lot at the time with the TKO guys, and they were bombing TJ and getting walls down there. So like in the early 2000s, it was hard to get a lot of walls in San Diego in public view. We had to paint underground, and I think around that time I had just stopped painting San Diego altogether.
Oh, really?
Because it was just, I don't know. I don't know why. I just didn't feel like.
I mean, was it extra work to just get a spot to paint? So you're just like, fuck it?
It was just too hard to get a wall, or maybe we just weren't hungry enough to go out there and get them, Maybe I had it good. Maybe I was just a part-time painter at the time, or something, or, just laid back. It's the thing about San Diego or California is that we're laid back. Well, especially in San Diego. There's a lot of motherfuckers out there doing it. I'm not knocking it. There are bombers, like,
no, but you're right.
Doing stuff. But
I mean, it's like inherent, like you're like the beach and just the sun and everything. It's
a lot of distractions. A lot of distractions. And I'm older at the time.
Yeah.
So I'm not like a teenager in my 20s anymore. I'm in my 30s. And
And you had also said in the first interview, that like Wayne kind of helped, you had done your dirt, but he had kind of helped you cut your teeth bombing. And then now you're talking about going down to Tijuana and bombing with TKO guys. Yeah. Who are you going down with from TKO?
Rescue and Tumor, mostly.
Okay, yeah. Like Tumor, the dude.
It was crazy. It was crazy times.
But it was mad fun, too.
I remember this time we went down with some A-dub guys, AWR, and we were deep. And these guys had already put a lot of work into TJ. They crushed it. Revolution was crushed, all the roll down gates. It was just bomb. There weren't a lot of pieces at the time. A lot of Tijuana artists or writers weren't piecing. There was HEM and they were piecers. They did a lot. But I remember this time, I don't even know if we had permission. We would just show up at walls and T-Loc would be like, yeah, okay, so we're going to paint this wall. The guy, yeah, he said that, it's all good. We're like, okay, cool, right on. So anyways, this one time we were deep. It was probably like 15 of us or so. And we started on this wall on this busy road, We have our first outline up, and then like these cop cars roll up. It must have been like, like 3 cars, small cars. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And then this guy comes out. He's like not in a uniform. He's in plain clothes. And he's all, I've had enough of you guys. There's a new sheriff in town type thing, We're like, fuck, dude, we're in TJ. We're so fucked right now. And he's all of you grab your shit. We're taking you in. And so like all our paint, all our belongings were left at the wall.
Oh, wow.
And
you couldn't
they piled us probably like it was like a 3-seater in the back, but they piled like 6 of us in there. Saber was down there with us, and he was nowhere to be seen. He was around the corner. He had no idea that we had been taken in. So anyways, we go down to the station, and they sit us down on the ground, and we're all like, lined up facing each other's back of the heads, and this guy's doing his whole speech about how he's the, graffiti police, and we're cracking down. There's no more graffiti in TJ. It's not going to happen. Not on my watch anymore. You guys need to get the fuck out of here. You're not welcome. And in the meantime, I'm looking for T-Loc and I'm looking for Rescue. And we're all looking at the back of their heads. And they're just like, we're just like, oh shit. Wow. And we're like, oh, we don't know those guys. Those guys are fucking assholes. Fuck those guys. Yes. In the meantime, they're sitting right there. Yeah. So, yeah, they let us go, and we get back to the wall, and Saber's like, where the fuck did you guys go? And we're like, oh, it's done. It's a wrap. We got all our paint. We went to the club, and we, had a little party.
And you didn't have to pay your way out of that one.
We did not have to pay my way out of that. I've had to pay the way out of other artists that I've taken down there. Oh, yeah, this guy thought he was going to catch some tags down there, but...
And got wrapped up, and you paid
he wasn't really a bomber. I'm not going to drop his name, but I was just like... He went down there for other reasons, and the trolls, the cops at the bridge were just like patted us down, and he had cans on him. And I told him, I was like, dude, like, don't bring any paint down to TJ, man. They're like, it's hot right now. Yeah,
And you
that's when the cartel. I'm sure the cartel's still there, but the cartel was like revolution had changed. That popular strip down there where all the tourists went to party every single weekend was a different territory.
I bet. Yeah. And so like that time hanging out with like TKO and those A-Dub guys and MSK.
I was painting with Nicer in the 90s from AWR. He introduced me to like Tyke and Crush, but I mostly painted with Nicer. So that was in the 90s. So like there was like an affiliation in a way through him. But I have to tell a story. The first time I had met Eclipse was in probably 91. And I was up in LA with Quasar. We were looking for a place to paint, and we had gone to Belmont and decided not to paint there. But he knew of another place, and it was Motor Yard. And so we walked down there, and he's like, "Let's do a piece here." And I was like, "Okay, cool." We showed up, and there was a guy wrapping up a piece. It was beautiful. It was like these blues, and it was fresh. It was just just really great style. I don't know who it was. And nice guy. We show up and we're like, "Hey, we want to paint here. Is it cool?" And he's like, "Yeah, man, you should just paint it right there next to him." I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So we started. He wrapped up his piece. He was, left, and he's like, "All right, guys, good to meet you." And we're painting. We're probably a few hours into it, and we're trying to do top to bottom. Be ambitious. Being from San Diego and painting in LA and trying to do something with substance. And we would go to the pits or the yards with, a bat, just to make sure we were, we had something, right? Because it was gang riddled during that time. It still kind of is, but especially around that time, like Culver City was definitely gang territory and under, that bridge area. Anyways, so we're, painting, and I look down the tracks and I see 3 people walking towards us, like they look like cholos. And I was like, oh shit. All right. Got the uniform, black Dickies, white shirt and shit. And I lean over to Quasar and I'm like, "Hey man, I think we got company." And he looks down the tracks and he's like, "Okay, just keep painting." just keep painting, and then maybe they'll just keep walking. Of course, they're not just going to keep walking. So they get behind us, and they're just standing there. So we both turn around and look at them, and this guy walks, takes a step forward. And he's all, "Who told you guys you could paint here?" And we're like, "Oh, well, we just kind of showed up. We're from San Diego, and he's all, "Well, what do you guys write?" And Quasar's like, "Oh, Quasar," and I write Persue. He's all, "Eclipse, AWR." I was like, "Oh, word. Okay, dope. Yeah, AWR. You guys are," because Cokes was doing pieces, and their shit was just. I mean, Eclipse pieces were fucking rocking. Amazing. Mm-hmm. And we're like, "Yeah, we're familiar with your work," and this and that. He's all, "Well, who told you can paint here?" Well, "Oh, this guy." He was like, "Yo, just rock right here." He's all, "This guy right here." So this pointing at this beautiful fresh paint. It was still wet, And I was like, we're like, "Yeah," and he reached into his jacket, and we're like, "Oh shit." Was he going to pull out? And he pulled out a can of ultra flat black, put a fat cap on it, and crossed this piece out in front of us.
Bam.
Like top to bottom, just fucking gone.
Whoa.
And it was there for like 10 minutes. Damn. And we were like, fuck, dude. Like, that was a really nice piece. Like, wow. And he takes a step back, looks at us, looks at the piece. He's all, that's dope. You guys are going top to bottom, keep painting. And they turn around and leave. And then that was the first time I met Eclipse. That was 92, 91, 92. And then I would see him off and on in the industry because he was doing Gypsies and Thieves and other brands before Seventh Letter.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. I asked him if he remembered that. And he says, "Yeah, I do remember that happened."
I mean, that's a story, dude. I would hope he would remember. Although, who knows how many times he did that exact fucking thing.
Totally.
You know what I mean?
Those poor people caught under the bridge at the AWR wall, know. We fortunately got away.
That's wild.
And so he let us slide.
So you have a long history with AWR and MSK, and even Seventh Letter, and like maybe we can talk about that. Although we were talking about 2005, 2006, and that's when you mentioned like this kind of connection to Seventh Letter. Is that when they formed that? 2006?
I don't know when it was. It might have been like around that time, maybe a little earlier, a year or two. I don't know when Casey had come up with the concept or the brand.
When did you get involved?
Around 2006 or 7. Uh-huh. That was probably around the time that Rhyme was doing the exchange.
Mm-hmm. And that's also when you had your daughter.
Yeah. My wife at the time, was pregnant. So around 2007, we were on tour. I remember that we were doing the exchange tour. We went up to San Francisco, and we were in LA. And I just remember taking trains back and forth just to hang out with her because she was pregnant.
And then, because I know that your daughter is like a big part of your life.
Yeah, she is my life.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, dude, and like my daughter is the same
one
way.
Human I can count on.
Yeah, well, absolutely, and she counts on you.
Absolutely. What
did that do, becoming a father in 2007 within your career, like in the context of having a career and being a guy who's doing graffiti?
It's like a filter, and sometimes you don't see it at first, but a filter of people that were around you. But now that you have a child, they're not. It's like it kind of like pushes people that shouldn't be in your life away. Mm-hmm. Whether it's just them, just not ever calling you again because you're now a dad or a kid. You have a kid. Yeah. Or the dynamic changes, or they can't come over to your house and drink or smoke weed or whatever. Mm-hmm. So. But
then it also probably brought a bunch of good people to you. I would imagine. Yeah. That's what most kids do. Yeah. I mean, they're super good luck. That's what I've. Just found in 3 years of being a dad.
Yeah, you treat it right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I take great pride at being a father and being there for my daughter.
Yeah.
So
how did it change, like, just besides people being pushed away, how did it affect your work? You said it's a filter. I mean, you were already making Bunny Kitty for, 6 or 7 years. You've been kind of working on Bunny Kitty. And
I think around that time, it had really fallen to the background. I think when my daughter came, I was just like working. I was just like, I'm just going to work. I'm going to paint once in a while.
Okay.
And Bunny Kitty, I'll do a painting here and there, but I wasn't really pursuing it as hard as a brand at that time. Mm-hmm. I think it had kind of taken a little back seat.
Did you have any vision that like Bunny Kitty would become more of like your, like that piece? What do you call that when it's like the main thing? But anyway, Did you think in 2006 or 2007 when your daughter came out, that like Bunny Kitty will get bigger and bigger and it'll become at the forefront of your work? Or could you not see that yet?
I think it could have gone any way at that point.
Yeah.
You know, I could have completely stopped doing it. I could have like tried to stay in the industry. You know, when it came to an end for me, like in 2010, you know, I had a choice. I could either go get a job or I could fall back on myself. And I decided to give myself a shot. People had kind of like mentioned that I could do that. I could try to pull it off, you know? And so I took unemployment and lost a lot of like stuff. And
This is 2010?
this is around 2010,
Okay.
yeah.
But I wanted to step back a little bit because I feel like those first few years of being a dad, like I just know for me, you know, it's a big challenge in a lot of ways. It's like, and I mean, I don't want to dig into it too deep, but you didn't maybe have the greatest foundation set up with the mom. I mean, I'm only presuming that from our conversations we've had outside of this podcast and knowing that you guys are not together anymore and also knowing certain stories you've told me about just some of your challenges. But like,
It was just the past decisions that just kind of like played a huge role in breaking that up.
was she planned?
Was she what?
Was it a plan to have
PJ?
to have your daughter?
No.
Or it was okay. It just happened.
It wasn't planned, but it was like definitely like, you know, just one of these things that I couldn't see myself now without.
Of course.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm glad that it happened.
Yeah.
You know, that it was a vehicle for Penelope to be here.
And so I'm interested also because, like, you know, you've characterized yourself as a character guy. And then at this time, 2007, 8, 9, like you're focusing on like work
Pieces.
and pieces.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And did you want to get away from being the character guy? Did you want to have, I mean, clearly you wanted to have better letters.
I
You've been
wanted to
focusing
have,
on it.
I wanted to have, you know, letters. Yeah, absolutely. This is what the movement is based on. It's writing, you know. I think that I wish that people knew the difference, like the outside world of, you know, that likes the street art. I wish they were able to see what good graffiti is as opposed to bad graffiti, and like be able to decipher between the two and know about, you know, our history and where it came from and the evolution of what people are doing now from that point. It's a very interesting kind of like movement, obviously.
I agree.
Or at least we think so.
Well, we do. And I'll tell you, I think it's...
And there's real fans out there.
And I think it's the value of this podcast is that we are able to like document this stuff, talk about it, put it on record, and hopefully more people will hear it and they'll get a better understanding. But also, they may never get that understanding. And certainly the majority of the world never will.
Well, it's for us.
Right.
Right?
Totally.
You know, it's like skateboarding. There's a saying, if you don't paint, or if you don't skate, you don't relate. It's like almost the same. If you don't paint, you don't relate.
Yeah, and that's totally true at the end of the day because, I mean, we were talking about it before. It's like there's like this teeny tiny group of people in the world that do graph and another teeny tiny group that love it. And that's it. There's 6 billion people on the planet. Yeah. No one knows about graph. You know what I mean? It's super niche. It's still super, and it'll probably always be niche, you know, even though it's getting bigger and bigger and you see all these commercials and everything. But they may never get it fully. So I wonder if like focusing on that is just like, I mean, I know you don't focus on that because I was going to say that.
No,
would
it's
just be
more
a
of
waste
like
of
something
time.
I just do with my, just for myself and then for my friends.
Yeah.
The community.
So and then talk about 2010, man, when you decided to just like, or did you say to
I didn't
yourself
have a
out-
decision.
So you
You know,
didn't
I
say
didn't
out
have a
loud?
choice.
Oh, okay, really? So that last brand.
I turned a company around. You know, I was appointed to be president of this company. I had gotten in as a footwear designer and developer and to help get them on track. But what happened, I was given this position to be president of this company.
Interesting.
And
How big of a company was it at the time?
I think it was like a few million.
Okay.
It wasn't big.
How many
It's a
people?
hardcore skate shoe company.
Okay.
There was probably there was 5 of us or so, maybe 6 that worked at the office, and then there was, you know, skaters involved. But I was just, I mean, the person I worked with, he was just this older Taiwanese investor, and it was very difficult to make him happy even when you're having huge successes. And so it just kind of like, once I got it on track, they gave me the whole, you know, pulled the rug from underneath me, and I found myself where I kind of saw it coming, you know, like out of a job, out of money, out of a potential, out of a marriage. Everything kind of hit at once.
Isn't that funny, man?
My mom was sick. It was everything.
That's so funny, because not funny, but it's ironic because that happens to so many people. It all crashes down at one fucking time, which maybe is just like, that's how we rebirth. That's how we
I definitely think that it was.
You talk about that in the first interview, that like some of, I don't know if you say the best artists or your favorite artists have found a way to reinvent themselves. And I think sometimes it sounds like with you had no choice but to reinvent, because everything stopped.
I mean, I had help. I had help from people that I was painting with at the time.
In 2010?
Yeah.
Who was that?
I would have to say it was mostly Rhyme.
Can you give us a little story on maybe how he supported you, or how he helped you get past that hurdle?
Well, I don't know if he helped me. Well, I guess maybe believing in myself more. I don't know if it was like a hurdle, because there was always more hurdles kind of put up as, time went on from that point. But it was like believing in myself, painting more, taking more time to approach a piece, being smarter about it. It's like we had already had a long relationship, and we had, I consulted with him about business and vice versa, and we worked together and collaborated together a lot up until that point. And then I think he saw where I was at, and he's a very giving person. And so he was like, well, and he liked me, and we liked each other. And so like, it was just kind of fluid, and we had fun, we turned it into like a party.
But you had also said this is around the time when that party stage kind of ended.
It went on for maybe a few years after.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So 2010.
It's all kind of coming back to me.
Cool.
It's a lot. It's a lot of history. It's 30 years almost, so like it's a little all over the place.
Yeah,
I apologize
and parsing it all out.
Listeners.
No, it's all good.
So, because it bounces all over the place, because just random thoughts come to me.
Yeah,
so I think that like he saw that I needed help, and he introduced me to people at 1X Run, and that, we did a print, and
what was that?
I drove cross country with him, and we were just painting, and, I didn't know about him and his relationships with people or anything like that. I just liked him as a person. We liked each other. We just kicked it.
What was the 1X Run project? What was that first print?
I think it was a painting I did one night, and it was at our friend's studio in Chicago. And I painted this poster because we were going to be in Detroit the next day. We were moving Rhyme from the West Coast to the East Coast, and I was with this other artist. His name is Mason, Mecca Mason, one of somebody that Joe introduced me to. We were moving him cross country, and we had an adventure halfway through it, because we were moving in this small little car in the dead of winter, and we hit some black ice, and Mason was driving, and we did like these huge, 360s down the highway with, semi trucks billowing down towards us. And I'm in the back of this, car, like holding on to like the seat, and I'm telling him like, put it in the ditch, get us off the fucking
away
road.
From the semis.
Yeah, because
damn,
because Mason was used to maybe driving in ice and snow, he was able to get us off before the trucks kind of like barreled past that. So I had taken some of those adventures and produced a painting around where we had been through Reno and Salt Lake and up to that point, and I captured it in this painting that I did in one night.
Can you just talk about the painting a little bit? Were there characters on it?
It was mostly, there was a Persue piece, and then there was a girl dressed up as in a bunny suit. It wasn't Bunny Kitty. Okay. And she was like leaning over, and then I had like a dude ranch or a bunny ranch on top of the piece, and girls and spinning cars.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
So you were telling
semi trucks. So I was telling the story.
Dope.
Right. And
then you go up to Detroit.
We get to Detroit. He introduces us or introduced me to them, and they were brand new at the time and experiencing growth. And we'll put it out. And so they put it out. It did all right. And I kept on just kind of pushing and working with them. And so that door was open. I started releasing Bunny Kitty prints through them.
Is that the first time that you released a print?
Yeah, first time. So 25 years into my career.
Yeah, it was still kind of, it was a new thing. Like,
yeah, because I
didn't doing prints. Like, that wasn't a thing, really.
Right. Well, I think it was. It just, I wasn't into it.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe a lot of our writer friends weren't really doing it that much. Maybe more of the writers that had gotten into the fine art world at the time were probably producing
of
prints.
course. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
did you see the light in that? Did you see like, oh, prints?
I could supplement my income.
Do one painting, give it off, and they make 100 prints, and you hand embellish, and then they go.
Right.
You've done several prints with 1X, right?
I have, yeah. They also helped me produce the campaign for the Bunny Kitty book. So they were huge at giving me opportunities in that way. So
that's awesome. Shout out to them. And then, so you were helping Ryan move across the country. You have all these experiences. You were still living in San Diego in 2010?
2010, yes, I was.
But you said everything the floor fell out. Your relationship with your wife, your job with the shoe
I was surf couching probably for about a year. I lived at my mom's house when her dementia was starting to get worse and worse, but she still had her personality. I was living there. I was sleeping on the couch, sleeping at my friends' couches. Just, it's tough. I was just trying to save money. I didn't have any to get a place. And then I got a job here or there, and I was able to sock up, save some money. And I got a small little place in San Diego.
Okay.
And I was painting inside. I started to get into doing canvases now and to explore Bunny Kitty again.
So did that print become like a thing, like a catalyst to do more?
Yeah. It was a catalyst. That and my mother getting worse in her conditions were two catalysts to fuel me.
Yeah.
And then doing some art shows and painting, and Instagram was kind of like a great vehicle for us at the time.
2010?
2010, 2011.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, that was like ahead of the curve, I think, actually, for a lot of people. I mean, there were certain people that had been on before, but like, that was
Wayne had told me about Instagram. He was like, "Oh, you need to get on this."
I remember Apex was like, "You got to do this," and I was like, "Fuck that!" And Apex, I mean, I could be wrong. Apex, friend of the podcast, I think he was like the 5,000th person on it or something like that.
Right.
He was really early adopter.
Right. Right.
And I just was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Slipped on it.
Yeah. Well, I got on, and I think that kind of just exposed to new fans maybe, or new people, or I don't know.
I'm totally curious about your experience with Instagram too, and I think that it's something that it's easy to just like gloss over it. It's like, social media, and it's so easy to also say, oh, social media, it's so important, or social media has so much value. What is your relationship with it? Yeah.
I think it did.
You think it's not anymore?
I think it still does to a degree, but like now it's like the algorithms play such a big
I know.
Role in it, and them controlling its marketing money now, or advertising. They figured out how to make money from it. It was always the plan.
Of course.
It was like, reel them in, and if you want a certain amount of people to see this, it's going to cost you. It became a marketing for opportunity for, just normal people.
Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, I just had a video go like viral, like 130,000 views the other day. But it was just me tagging a mattress. So I'm like, that's fucking weird, because I've put out such good content before that doesn't get anything.
The mattress tag is the one?
Got 80,000 views in a day.
That's what I'm going to be known for?
Yeah.
If that helps.
I mean, it's cool, man. It was a big fat cat tag. I was happy. But it's so, you mentioned the algorithm, and that video really kind of shed some light on me about that algorithm. And I realized we have no control of what happens on Instagram at all. Yeah. You can put out the best thing that's ever been seen on the internet.
I think it's the network that you have and that you keep, and people that are willing to share your projects. I don't abuse it. I just, when there's time for me to ask for favors, then I ask.
What do you think abuse is? What does it look like?
Probably asking people to post something of yours or share all the time, asking for followers, follow me for follow backs, buying followers, and all that stuff.
I think abuse for those people.
I understand, like, maybe posting all the time is the way you get more followers, but I don't know, man. Like, it's hard for me to kind of post every single day, my every move. I felt that, and I tell my fiance this a lot, is because she posts a lot of our personal stuff, and there's people that follow her that have discovered that we're together, and they know my moves, my personal moves, and like, so when I see them, they're talking about,
hey, I saw you
my personal life
in Central Park.
It's like,
how does that make you feel?
Maybe because I have this mentality of a writer that there was always like a secret part to me that's no longer a secret. But I like having a separation from everybody, kind of like knowing my business to my art, like I kind of like approach them as two different.
Yeah. But I felt like you've been pretty transparent on your own page, like showing your face and things.
I don't mind showing my face at all.
But you also don't show like the restaurant that you're eating at on a Saturday night,
right?
But your fiance might.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's discomfort there? Like it makes you a little uneasy?
Just because, it creates a dialogue between somebody that I may not want in my business.
Yeah. And now they know like your favorite spot in Central Park on Saturdays.
Yeah.
And
I mean, not that I have stalkers or people looking for me, but
you never know. Right. And so, I'm glad we talked a little bit about Instagram, because I do find it a really interesting tool. And some people know how to work it. Other people don't want to. Sounds like you're saying that you have a hard time posting. What does, and that I find interesting, because I'm looking around your studio right now and there's got to be
a lot of stuff I could post.
Dope post. I'm looking at all these wet paint pieces you're doing with Keo, and I know you did them with Wayne, and there's just like all this awesome stuff. What does motivate you to put up a post?
Oh, probably, not posting something in a week. I like, when I paint, I like having something with substance. I feel like if I'm always posting wet paints, it's like, it's the same content, even though it's different, because the subject matter might be different from the last one.
But does that mean you don't want to post it, or you do want to post it? The same kind of content, but it's different.
I do. It's just trying to find a time and a place for it. Not like every step of the way, which I should be telling more stories, but
maybe. I don't know. And then, I also wonder about like your use of social media as a tool to get gigs. Like has Instagram been a place that money is made?
Definitely.
Okay, good. Because like some people, that's not their platform.
Right.
Great graffiti writers we know, their platform is still Facebook.
Right.
Because there's a way to tell maybe a little bit more story or whatever it is.
I've had both. I've been able to sell product and original art off Instagram, Facebook, off my websites.
Yeah.
People typing in graffiti and coming across Persue or something.
Yeah. Okay, so it has been a tool. It's been a platform for you to make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is it an invaluable tool? Like, do you really appreciate it?
I definitely appreciate it. I think that it's definitely helped me supplement my income in hard times. Yeah. Just by putting it out there to an audience that may want an original piece or collect something from me that they feel it's of importance.
I had heard someone the other day talking about that it's a bubble that's going to burst Instagram, and that it'll eventually just go away. What's your tarot card?
My tarot card looking into
read the tea leaves on the future of Instagram.
It's going to be mass hysteria. It's all going to fall out. And we're going to go back to analog.
That's the thing. Like, I can only take it so seriously.
All you digital babies are going to not know what to do with yourselves.
I like Instagram a lot. Yeah, they might be. And what will they do? They'll start.
There's going to be a great war. It's coming. It's close.
No social media. Yeah. I just wonder about it, and I wonder if you have thoughts on your like future with social media as a driver of work and of like your career.
Sorry, I was thinking about war still.
It's okay. There's a lot of war.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of shit going on right now.
Well, and before that, we can pull back a little bit, because in 2010, 11, you had a lot of stuff happen, a lot of life-altering stuff, family illness, family divorce, career shift. You're transitioning as an artist. Was there light at the end of this tunnel? Like, you talk a lot about the darkness of the 10 years up to this. How about that transition? Maybe a little later, because you said a few more years. 2012.
I think the transition came forced.
Okay. And you allowed it
in a way.
Happen. Some
of it did, and some of it was there, and I didn't realize it.
Okay.
And I think it took me just kind of like realizing what was going on and who I was around at the time that made it apparent, and it just kind of got real tough all at once. It was like a bubble that burst, All of a sudden, my mom was gone, and my dynamics with some relationships, the people that I had for decades, is gone. Yeah. I have, my grandmother's on her deathbed. a girlfriend that lives here in the city that wants my time, my daughter that lives in California, a project like Bunny Kitty almost out, like the book is almost there, but like I'm waiting on people, you know, uncertainty, like just coming down. And I think when my mom passed, there was like this inertia or something, just being able to push through it, get past it.
What year was
use
that?
it as a vehicle. This is 2015.
Yeah. But you had talked about that bubble bursting. That was before, or is this 2015 you're talking about?
This is around 2015.
And Bunny Kitty, you've been putting quite a bit of emphasis on Bunny Kitty throughout her illness because it was an idea that you came up with together.
Well, I had the idea. It was something that she helped me edit the story, and she wrote the magic spell. So like, I think I may have mentioned in the past podcast that she turned to me when we were finished and she said, people are going to love this, you know? And so how would I have known had I not taken the opportunities? Those opportunities didn't present themselves. So I'm thankful to everybody that had pushed me in that direction, the support that I had from my crews, even though they may have not really believed Bunny Kitty was the best path for me, even though it was a story. It was like something I was really trying to tell. It just wasn't one character, and that, you know, I'm trying to tell a story that's going to uplift people. Yeah. You know, in a time of, tough times. It's a dark time for people. Yeah. A lot of shit popping
back then. It was dark. It's super dark right now.
I think that it's hard for me now to do posts about my art when and be selfish when there's so many people fucking losing their lives with, bombing attacks and fucking Nazis and all this other
cars
bullshit
just driving people over
going on, man.
Yeah. Although you could reframe that perspective and say that art is the only fucking thing that's going to save us, dude.
Sure.
And I believe
you can. Absolutely. That's probably, and that's why we do it.
Even if it's just a distraction. Yeah. Go distract people. Yeah. My God, distract them. They need it.
And it reminds me of this story that this young man had taken time to pull me to the side when I was painting the exchange wall with everybody in 2007 in San Francisco, 111 Minna Alley. Yep. He pulled me to the side. He's like, "Hey, Persue, I just want to let you know that if it weren't for you guys, for you and your crew and these guys right here, I would have killed myself." Wow. You know, I think by watching you guys and seeing what you're doing has made it worth living. Whoa. And that was a heavy message to be sent. I don't know who it was. Just a stranger.
Wow. That's amazing.
So we do have our roles, and it's a lot more powerful than the government and all these people make us out to believe. We know our powers. Mm-hmm. We do. I think our community knows our power. Yeah. And I think that you see it through Revoke, and you see it through these guys that are really outwardly spoken about what's happening in this world. And stuff like that. So.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And I think that experience, clearly I can see it in your eyes and in your voice. Like, it had a real effect on you, a profound effect. And I think, like, imagine how many people, well, one, just can't come across you to tell you that, or don't have the guts to write a DM to tell you that. But I'm sure there's tons of people that you had that effect on. And that's cool. Yeah. That's amazing.
I think a group of us really have an effect on.
In a way, that's like... Yeah, definitely. A lot of people have had that effect, and that's a reason to keep going. That's a reason to keep posting. That's a reason to keep working. But I can see how you can get in your own space. You sit in your studio and you make these paintings, and it's like, who is this really affecting? You know, how is this having vibration? How is it vibrating people?
Well, I get a lot of letters from the Bunny Kitty project. You know, families and dads and moms and kids.
That's awesome. And I want to ask you, which is great. I just want to go back to the magic spell for a second. Can you just, for people that haven't read the book, can you just talk about the magic spell?
The magic spell was something that my mother came up with. And she was always really good at, telling stories or rhymes or songs for the kids. And so, it was just something I needed for that aspect of Bunny Kitty to come to life. And, she was, who better than to ask my mom for a magic spell?
Can you say the spell?
Yeah, I could say the spell. It could, Numby ticket, tuna, grass, snails, and cricket, grass, fog, moss, and hickory, lavender, rose, bugs, and chicory. Drink from the bottle while facing the sun. Force is a virtue, power through one.
Awesome. That's cool.
Something like that. I probably bastardized it
That's
for a little
okay.
while. I haven't read it in a little while.
Close enough.
It's pretty damn close.
That's amazing. That's
yeah, so
wild.
it was really
And that's the kind of
really
stuff
cool.
your mom would just come up with.
Yeah, it only took her a few days.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, that's really interesting. And and at this point, 2015, when did the book drop?
It came out. It finally got to the customers, the people that had booked.
Early 2016?
It was December.
Yeah.
Started to ship. 2015.
15, right.
Yeah.
So,
No, I'm sorry, 2016. So it took a full year for it to come out.
And so, can you just talk a little bit about the process of making the book? Because they were all hand painted panels.
Yeah, I had. I was
Which you had told me that you're like, that was nuts.
pretty ambitious. You know.
Why did you choose to do it that way instead of just working in Illustrator?
I just wanted to have the assets later down the line.
Well,
I wanted to have it for the family
You ever done a
or
show?
my daughter. No, but that's
That'd
the
be
plan.
Sick.
I think people would really love to see the paintings.
Yeah.
I think they'd have a hard time looking at them and thinking that they were paintings. I think
How come?
because they're just really crisp and clean. It looks like they're silk screened,
Nice.
but they're painted.
Is it, what kind of paint did you use?
It's acrylic.
It's all acrylic?
Yeah.
On what?
On wood.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the larger paintings is on canvas.
How many pieces in total?
Probably about 27,
Wow.
I think.
And then, so you did the entire book by hand and paint and brush, right? Ink?
Yep.
Or just, you said pure acrylics?
All brush. Yeah.
And then you have all these images. Like, I'm just curious to learn how you make a book. After you've created all these illustrations, someone does super high res photos.
Yep, I had someone come in and take photos of the paintings, and those were given to the graphic artist Ellen Rutt over at 1X Run.
Okay.
And
she did all the layout.
I helped her with it,
Okay.
but she did all the layout.
Mm-hmm.
I was like the creative director on it. So this is kind of like the layout. This is where the painting goes here.
Awesome.
She brought some really good ideas.
As a creative director or an art director, how controlling were you?
I wasn't that controlling. It wasn't too difficult.
Really?
I think I had a clear kind of like...
You didn't fight over typefaces and stuff like that?
No, I think...
she knew.
I consulted with people about typefaces, and my friend in Switzerland, actually, she was the one that suggested a different typeface because I had a very raw version of the book that I was bringing around to me and showing people. And so she's like, oh, might I suggest this typeface?
For like our type nerds listening, do you remember what the first one was that you were using?
Oh, it was probably just Helvetica as a placeholder.
Okay. And then what was the final one?
Oh, shit, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Oh, I want to find that out just because I'm kind of like a little bit of a type nerd. And so after that, then you had a prototype made, you said, with Helvetica, for instance, that you were carrying around.
We made a video,
how
Call
long,
and Day.
With that prototype, how long did you carry that around and show people?
I must have had that for at least 6 months.
Okay. And you carried around, talked to people, got feedback. That was a full book? And
pretty much the entire book.
Besides type, the story was all in place because the panels told the story.
We had done the layup, and I realized that there was too much writing and there weren't enough paintings, so I had to reapproach it and paint 6 more paintings, and I did these within about a week.
And those were like elements in the story that might have just been missing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like visuals that were needed to go with this script.
And then there was a licensing deal, right? Or a distribution deal?
Yeah, Ginkgo Press picked up on the book.
Yeah.
And
how'd they find it? Was that
they found it out through the 1X Run guys, and then they saw the campaign. The campaign was really successful. We teamed up did the crowdfunding with Indiegogo. Yeah, they just were looking for more children's books and having that program in their offering. They're not really known for children's books, more like for art books, and I guess mine kind of classifies for both.
I see. Yeah. Okay. And do you think that 1X Run helped that connection a little bit, or?
I think that it helped that I was working with 1X Run, but my connection was a photographer and a friend by the name of Mike Popso that had meetings with David Lopez at Ginkgo Press, and had put it in front of them and said, hey, you might want to consider possibly talking to Persue about this project. And
they put a prototype book in front of them.
Yeah, I want to say that I had given Mike the electronic PDF of the book. Mm-hmm. And then they did their research. They had already known, I think, who I was, perhaps, because they do a lot of like graffiti type books, and they come from that world, sort of.
So that was a good match.
It's a good match. It was a good match. It's like being an independent musician. You know, there's no real marketing money behind the push of Bunny Kitty through Ginkgo, so it all falls back on me, which can be kind of difficult. But I find when I'm in places like Comic Cons or I'm having an art show that I'm able to sell 30 to 50 copies like that.
Interesting.
You know, I think it's a easier sell when the artist is there. And
you're there to sign them and sell them and everything.
Right. But they did open up a lot of channels for the book to get out there and make it an option for people to discover Bunny Kitty. But, you know, I don't know how well it's doing at retail, but
how do you monitor that sales?
They would monitor it, you know, and they would tell me like, oh, you know, it's not really doing, you know, this or what we expected there and this and that. I go, well, I don't have any books anymore. I've sold all mine. Can I buy books from you? You know, type. So, you know, I don't give up easily. I just look for different ways to get it out there.
But Ginkgo didn't have the resources to advertise it or to promo it? Like if it's a little low?
I don't think it was part of their budget.
Interesting.
You know, they don't really even post on Instagram. Seldom. And you would think that maybe they do. Yeah. I think they rely on maybe the people they team up with to kind of push it.
And have you had anybody else try to help you push it? Besides your own platform, like Instagram and your own website? And
I've had like investors that are interested in investing into Bunny Kitty, but I haven't found the right partner yet.
Okay.
And there's like doors opening all the time with potential licensing deals and partners. It's just finding the right one.
Yeah. And then like throughout this time of like working on the book, 2015, I mean, would like doing a piece, working on letters, would you just like grab it when you could? Would you carve out and say, no, this Saturday I am painting. I have to. I know I just did panel and panel and panel for the book. I got to like get away and like refresh.
Yeah, I had come to New York. I didn't come to New York to be a graffiti writer. There was a lot of reasons why I came to New York, you know, whether it was like my family history had always been here, you know, when it came to great grandfathers and grandfather and family businesses and all sorts of history I have. And I wanted to kind of experience that. I was given the offer and it was made real easy for me to have an existence out here when I first got here through.
What year was that?
I moved here in 2013?
Okay. That was full-time move, or you?
Yeah, that was full-time move. Yeah.
Okay.
And
so did you paint all the panels in New York?
I did. I felt that being in San Diego, there would have been a lot of distractions, and I wanted to be inspired for the next book because the next book takes place in a city environment.
Yeah.
And if I've never lived in one, how do I speak from being able to relate to a city? So leaving San Diego, I probably should have left San Diego a long time ago. You know, it's a tough art market down there for sure.
Oh, it's teeny.
Yeah.
A
lot of great artists come from there, but thriving is difficult.
I'm sure. And New York looked like it would be more welcoming on that, in that regard.
You know, a lot of people, a lot of creativity in the city. Obviously, it all revolves around it, right?
Yeah,
so, and especially for painters.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, when I got out here, I just knew it was something that it was my project. I go, I've got to see this through now. I've got a yes from 1X Run that we're going to green light this and they're going to make it happen with me. And I have no income coming in, you know? So like different little jobs here or, you know, painting little things here and there and offering on my website. You know, I was spending more money than I was making.
Yeah.
I still do that.
Yeah.
You know, but I felt like, you know, going to New York and falling on my face in a city like New York would be better than falling on my face in San Diego where I'm from. Totally. I'll take the fucking chance.
Yeah.
You know, so I took the gamble and yeah, it was, oh man, it was tough.
I'm sure.
It was real tough.
What was the toughest part?
Relationships.
Talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Personal, professional, both?
Mostly personal relationships with people that that I thought I had something real tight with, you know. I don't know. You know, maybe it's me, maybe it's them, maybe it's a mixture, you know, like you get into a friendship or a relationship and like, you know, seasons change, people change, you know, like some people expect more from you or they want to control you or, you know, when you've always been your own person or maybe you have an authority complex, like you just don't get along with people telling you what to do.
Yeah, totally.
So,
so you weren't letting that happen. You weren't letting anybody tell you what to do.
Well, I think I let it happen for a while, and then like it became expected.
Yeah.
And so when it wasn't expected anymore,
or when
I drew this invisible line,
yeah,
of like where I thought I would see myself going had I continued down that path, it was still a dark path, and I'd already been down a really dark path.
So you weren't going to have that anymore, which then pushed a bunch of people away.
I think my fiance, like she's the one who really encouraged me, helped me with the paintings for the book.
Yeah.
Told me that, just pulled me out of the dark, Yeah.
That's great. You're so lucky.
Yeah, real awesome. Fortunate, man. Like, Those
of us who can get a great partner, man, it's like...
Some of us don't want it.
No, I know.
Some people don't want it.
Some people don't want it. And those that do, when you get a chance to get one, it's like, I tell people all the time that when I met my wife, I just sunk my nails in deep, man.
I could have let it go. I could have been,
that guy.
An international playboy.
That shit gets old, man.
Oh, man, does it get old?
Well, you'll never find out now.
I'll never know. I had it for a little while. It was there. It's gone. No, just kidding. I'm still international.
Yeah, you are. And like, then like the book drop was like it was a great success.
It was. It was really great, man. It was far more of a success than I thought it was. That's and far awesome. More of a success than I think my partners thought it would have been. Mm-hmm. And, I remember they were like, Dave, before we drop the campaign, we just want to let you know we back this and we have your back. And like, we're going to make the book regardless of whatever money we raise. And I'm just like, to have a partner like that and it felt good. It felt good. And, I think my grandmother died. She passed away the day before the campaign dropped.
Wow.
So I had to say goodbye to her to almost an unconscious body over the phone. My sister-in-law put me on the phone with her, and I had to say my words to her because I was in New York at the time, awaiting this campaign to drop. And her last words to me before she passed were like, "Protect the bunny."
Wow.
Because she knew that Bunny Kitty has powers. It's a powerful icon, like I don't think people realize it, that when I show Bunny Kitty to people like outside the graffiti world or outside of, just normal people, like I see people fall in love with it instantly because of this, maybe it's the design, or they see the cuteness, they see it in the eyes. There's a spirit there.
Yep.
So I've seen 3-year-olds fall in love with it. I've seen teenagers fall in love with it. I've seen adults fall in love with it. So this is what kind of pushed me to put it out there, because I knew it was a good story and it's a good message.
Yeah.
And I want to continue to use it as a vehicle for helping people. But so the morning of the campaign, and they're just like, we're about to go live, and they put it on, and like by the end of the day we had raised a good amount of money, and we were just blown away. And that continued to grow, and people got behind it. That was the Indiegogo. We put the video out of the message and what we were working on.
How much did the Indiegogo raise?
Just under $30,000.
And that $30,000.
I want to thank everybody that backed
Hell yeah.
The family that had this dream to put out this character and to see the vision. And I hope they're happy with the product.
I'm sure they are.
I will continue to support, their support, and by putting out good product and good stories out there to people to help.
Yeah. To help. And so then what is the plan for the second book?
Plan for the second book is to start to illustrate it. Okay. And I'll probably...
You have a story?
Yeah. I'm probably over halfway finished. Nice. I'm definitely over halfway finished with the book.
The story?
Yeah, the second.
How are you going to illustrate this one?
I'm going to do it digital. I'm going to do it on my tablet.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
So like Procreate.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'll do it in that.
Definitely. iPad Pro, or what are you working on?
I'm on an iPad Pro. Yeah.
I mean, the quality is so good.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so do you have is there like a goal, like time frame for that?
I'm hoping that I will have a campaign for it going in the next 6 months. Releasing the book, I may put it out independently.
Okay. Does that mean that I mean, we don't need to get too many details, but does 1X and Ginkgo, are they...
I don't know if they're going to be involved. I don't think 1X will be involved. I think I'm just going to do this one by myself.
I mean, that's kind of the amazing thing about self-publishing. You can.
The
hardest thing to do is to create the content, and you already have that ability.
Yeah.
So then it's like, gosh, self-publishing is like a real thing.
I think it's okay for me to have Bunny Kitty still remain small and just kind of like evolve organically. It's already evolved organically. I think that's what people that are looking for content look for, you know? Is this organic project. I think that's why I've had interest from investors and animation houses and stuff like that, because they're like, oh, this guy built this from the underground. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And it's a really clever idea and concept.
Yeah. And I just look at it and I'm like, when will I see the Bunny Kitty float at the Macy's Day Parade? I mean, it is exactly right for that. And once Cause did it, it's like, well, that means the gates are open.
Door, yeah. Absolutely.
So what's it going to take?
I don't know. I could see it happening in Asia first for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I've got a lot of stuff in 2018 and set up for Asia.
Nice.
I think that they have an appreciation, obviously, for animated characters.
Yeah.
Whereas in America, it can be a little tougher sell.
Mm-hmm. Anything you can tell us about for the 2018 stuff in Asia?
It's not solidified yet, but
you got plans.
It's being worked on right now. Yeah.
What else?
Something in mainland China, a residency.
Oh, awesome.
Some street art, like kind of like festival type stuff here and there. Mm-hmm. It's like moving to New York and exploring the abstract movement, because it was from here and jazz and all this stuff. Why didn't I do that in San Diego? Maybe it didn't speak to me in that way. Mm-hmm. Maybe all the backgrounds I did for my paintings in San Diego were abstract, but I would always put something figurative over the top of it.
Yeah.
And then when I moved to New York, I gave a shot at painting some abstracts, and I was really surprised by what I had produced. And my biggest fan, my grandmother, was floored. So like this is another avenue I would like to pursue. It's like separating myself from Persue and Bunny Kitty. I want to be a painter, but it's like I take on a lot of stuff, and it kind of like it has a tendency of like really, thinning myself out too much. So if I approach an abstract painting, if I want to do an abstract painting, then I'll just take the time to do one, and it's a separation. It's like to get away from the bunny, So it's a great vehicle for that.
And you talk about like abstract work. Do you think that abstract work is going to also play a role in your letter development in the future?
I don't know.
And I think a lot about your like history with Joker from BA and Transcend and that abstract background. I don't know if it's abstract, but that background.
Right.
And like I just, makes my mind race as to like what the Persue graph is going to look like in 2018, 2019,
I mean, who knows, man? I mean, I'm doing more just kind of, my pieces are just evolution of, I think, New York and European styles with some LA twist to it or West Coast twist to it. Of one being that had traveled and kind of influenced by a lot of different countries. It's an evolution of that, and I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of people doing really great works, and I don't know where I see myself evolving as far as letter forms. I think that I'll just try to, I don't know if it's going to become abstract. I don't know if I want to do abstract graffiti.
Yeah, maybe you'll go back to straight letters.
Yeah, I like doing graffiti that looks like graffiti.
Yeah.
I like a natural hand on a piece. I don't like cutting lines back. I like, maybe a couple places here and there, but I want the piece to have a very authentic look to it.
Yeah.
When other writers may look at it and be like, oh, he hit this with one line. He didn't even cut back here. In the photo, it's crisp. That shows a lot of ability to be able to hit a line like that or to have this flow. And I don't know. It's like Tai Chi, it's like, that's what writing or doing these paintings do for me. It's kind of like an expressive dance, a Tai Chi dance of sorts.
Yeah, I'm digging it.
It's like martial arts.
Yeah.
My Kung Fu.
I mean, it is a martial art in a lot of ways.
Absolutely.
A lot of those qualities are there. Dude, I'll tell you, man, this has been...
Did we get everything? Is this it?
I mean, we got to 2018.
We did, huh?
And beyond. And it's the first part 2 that I've done. You'll probably be around episode 46 and you were episode 6. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah. Wow, you've done a lot, man.
It's been happening. And dude, I'm super stoked, man, that we got to do this part 2, because like a lot of people were like, "Are you really gonna make us wait that long?" Because I said in the interview, "Man, maybe in 6 months," and it's been like 10. And again, just like I did in the first episode, where can people find your work? It's
you're gonna find it on bunnykitty.com. You're gonna find it on davepersue.com. It's Persue.
Your
Instagram is at Persue or Persue1.
PERSUE1
with the
number one.
Yeah.
And the
I
Bunny
also
Kitty
have
page?
_bunnykitty_.
I thank you. Also, having me in your space it's an interesting place to do it. It's like really, really cool to be in your space, your creative.
Well, it's a group setting.
Yeah.
But I have my space. I've produced some fun projects in here, and
it's fresh. Can people buy those wet paint pieces like directly through your? Yeah,
the wet paints. This new series will go up that I'm doing with Keo probably in the next couple weeks.
Fresh.
Yeah.
Thank you. My Life in Letters is looking to grow and expand our team. If you think you're right to collaborate and partner with us, please drop us a line at either mylifeinletterspodcast@gmail.com or send us a direct message at our Instagram page at My Life in Letters Podcast. My Life in Letters is recorded live in Bushwick, Brooklyn, USA. Our sponsor is sprayplanet.com. Our producer is Christopher Piccioni. Our videographer is Jordan Miller for Way Up Creative. Our intern is Jessica McGarr. Our theme music is by Fonte, and my name is Adam Fujita. Thanks for listening. Have a great day. Peace.
The language of letters.
My life, my life, my life.